Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back to the Let's Play world, and welcome back to the Westfall project. In case you haven't watched the previous episode, go ahead and check that out first. I'll link it in the description. I started this project as a solution to the excessive stone reserves I've got down at the Bedrock project. My idea was simple. Take stone, trade to villager, get emerald, profit. Now repeat that probably another 60,000 times, give or take. So to maximize this process, I built a massive villager trading hall and hooked it to a bulk storage silo for my stone so I can streamline the trading process and get all those juicy emeralds. The theme that I'm going for here is Westfall from World of Warcraft, a drop-filled plainsland with dilapidated farming buildings. And it's not just gonna be happening in this little area here. Oh no, it's going all around me. I've got a whole lot planned for today's video, and it's all gonna be going in this area over here. As you saw in the beginning time lapse, I spent a bunch of time setting the stage for today's project. I wanted to clear out the whole area and smooth the terrain. That involved deforestation, speed mining, river draining, and just going around filling in holes and removing grass and flowers. I think that whole time lapse was about 12 hours of work. Not too shabby. But with that all out of the way, let's talk about donkeys. They're a specific horse breed that can uniquely be equipped with a 15-slot chest. Why do I need them? Well, the short answer is I really don't, but the long answer is that I'm gonna be transporting over a ton of shulker boxes of stone for this trading setup. And this is just about the closest I'm ever gonna get to having a real reason to use horses in this game. And I know that 15 slots might not seem like much, but think about it this way. I can comfortably fill my inventory with 30 shulker boxes, and I also have 15 empty shulkers that I can use in my ender chest. So an additional 15 gives me 25% more storage, which actually goes a long way. Now, look, I know what you're still gonna say. Yes, it's probably faster to just fly it over with Elytra, even if I'm not using those extra 15 slots. And on top of that, if I maximize my inventory and ender chest space, then I can bump it up all the way to 63 shulker boxes. No donkeys necessary. But there is one thing here that you might not have considered. Shut up, just let me have this one. Okay, first things first, I gotta go find some donkeys. They spawn in plains and savanna biomes, but my best bet is gonna be sticking to plains since in savannas you can only get one. These guys are pretty rare too, since they're essentially just a specific type of horse that needs to spawn. Anyways, I'm just gonna start flying around to any plains biomes I spot, and hopefully I'll get lucky. I know that this one kind of continues off towards the south, so I'll start there. Ooh, we got some horses over here, but no donkeys out the rip. It's been many years since I've done any exploring around my world, so this is actually super exciting for me. It's just cool to see what else is out here. Literally within eye shot of my main base. I never travel. And, oh, no way. And a child. Are you kidding me? These guys are a 1 in 46 spawn. It's crazy I got them so quickly. I'm actually a little bummed, to be honest. I was ready to explore a bunch of my world. Well, hey, on the bright side, at least it'll be a quick trip back. No, get away from the lava. Come on, tame. No, I am witnessing a live forest fire as we speak here. Oh, nice. And get the child. All right, baby, follow me close. We got a journey ahead of us. Keep going, little one, you're doing great. Ooh, that could have been really bad. I'm getting close. Let me go up this mountain. And look at that, home sweet home. How am I gonna get down? Oh, I could waterfall it. I'd cry though if one of them died. Do I do it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, nice and easy. Come on, baby, nice and easy. Ooh, we're still good, we're okay. This is fine. Yep, and, yeah, easy. Wasn't even worried about it, not a problem. All right, fellas, welcome to your new home. On to the next step. I've got to address a glaring issue. You may have already noticed it. You see, these donkeys are what technical Minecrafters refer to as slow as hell. Now I've got a question for you. How do you get a fast donkey? Do you A, feed him lots of yummy treats and tell him he's a good boy? Or do you B, selectively inbreed the ever-living daylights out of his family, discarding any slow offspring and moral decency along the way? Until ultimately, after many arduous hours of this process, you're left with an unnaturally fast donkey that probably doesn't have a soul, but that won't matter because yours will be long gone too. Or do you just spawn one in with commands? I'll save you a trip to the wiki. My soul isn't gonna last to the end of this episode. So as you've probably guessed, this donkey breeding setup is gonna be going in this big area here that I've cleared out. But before I get started on that, we need to get some things out of the way. literally. These buildings here are getting taken down, unfortunately, and I wanted to just talk about them for a second before I do that. They're based on Elven architecture from Darkshore in, you guessed it, World of Warcraft. I built them about 2 years ago when I wanted to move my old AFK fish farm. This is all documented back in episode 2. The smaller building houses the AFK fish farm, and the bigger one is just aesthetic. But coincidentally, I did actually give it the purpose of storing a bit of my bulk stone reserves. I better move this stuff, actually. Nice. Anyways, I built these guys with the hopes of creating a whole area around them, not unlike what I'm doing right now with Westfall. But obviously that's not gonna happen anymore. Well, at least not here. I actually already have an idea as to where this whole Darkshore theme might fit perfect. So say goodbye to these structures for now, but you might see them return in the future. Also, it's worth mentioning that this AFK fishing setup is practically useless to me now anyways. The primary reason I used it back in 1.13 was because it was the only way to obtain mending books. Obviously, I've got a better source for them now, but on top of that, this thing doesn't even work anymore because 1.16 nerfed fish farms like this from being able to get rare loot. So even if I wasn't doing this whole Westfall thing, I'd still probably end up tearing this thing down anyways. All right, cue the demo music. Wait, what is this? Guys, I think I found a naturally based lag farm. The chickens make the eggs, zombies get stuck back here and pick up the eggs, and they never despawn. All right, party's over, time to go. Okay, everything's cleared out up top, and now I need to deal with the fishing storage. If I remember correctly, all the fish are over here, and the miscellaneous drops are here. Oh, that's right, and I also had the non-stackable sorting. I still think this is a pretty cool setup. The way that it would work is I'd drop items out of these chests here by hitting Q, and they'd end up in the water stream below. Then, depending on which mode it's set to, it'll either destroy the items in lava or send them over to storage. I did this because most fishing drops are garbage besides the enchanted books. And ooh, look at that, I've got some enchanted books to go through.
Later.
Okay, fast forward and I've moved all the fishing drops back to base here, including all my enchanted books. And in doing that, I ended up deciding to disenchant all my books with multiple enchantments because they were really not worth keeping. I actually made a short about it, so go check that out real quick if you're interested, it's down in the description. And in case you didn't know, I've been using shorts as essentially side content for the Let's Play. It's a great medium to just cover some quick stuff that might not have a place in a video. Plus, it's also just good supplementary content in between episodes, which tend to take almost a month to make. So make sure to keep your eyes out for more shorts in the future, and I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on everything. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, back to business here, and I'm not done tearing things down. This place here is also gonna be in the way a little, but even if it wasn't, I've been wanting to tear it down for a while, and now is as good a time as any. I called this place my farming town, and the idea was to mass breed animals away from my base and have different fast food restaurants for each animal. I have a Chick-fil-A over here for chickens, I was gonna do a McDonald's over there for cows, and I started to do something here for sheep and colored wool, but I stopped. Besides the fact that this project isn't very exciting for me, it also just doesn't fit with the rest of the stuff in my world. Everything I do is usually some sort of medieval fantasy-based style. It's okay, you can just say World of Warcraft. Everything I do is from World of Warcraft. And I don't know about you, but I don't think Sylvanas Windrunner was hitting up Chick-fil-A for some fries and a milkshake. Also, I just don't have a very big need for animal farms anyways. Food isn't an issue, and I've got more feathers and leather than I'll ever know what to do with. So yeah, this is all getting torn down, and I'm not even gonna bother saving the animals. Except maybe the llamas. Go on, save yourselves. The rest of this is gonna be a slaughter. Cue the demolition music. It feels so good to have that area ripped out finally. I think it had been bothering me more than I'd realized. Anyways, now that that's done, the whole area is ready to go and I can get started with this donkey breeding setup. Well, kind of. Yes, I've spent the episode so far clearing everything out and smoothing the terrain, but not so I can put some buildings on top of it. No, instead, it's so I can terraform. Let me explain. If we turn our attention back to these buildings here, they are the beginning of the recreation of Moonbrook, a town at the edge of Westfall. And when you look at this town in-game, there's a mountain range directly behind it called the Dagger Hills. So my idea was to build some sort of a hilly mountain range behind these buildings and have my donkey breeding area go up there. Now, originally, this idea wasn't going to be very big, but when I started to look around, there's a natural mountain range further west. And I thought it would be weird if I terraformed a mountain range here and had a small gap of plains land in between them. So I figured, screw it. And the new plan was to just have it stretch all the way over to the snowy mountain ranges at the edge of the plains land. Now, a terraforming project of this magnitude is the largest I've ever set out to create. And I thought that this would be a perfect time to teach myself how to use a new tool, World Painter. I feel like most people know what World Painter is, but in case you don't, the answer is right there in the name. It's a third-party program that allows you to generate custom terrain by painting it in. There are all kinds of brushes for different terrain, you can smooth things out, adjust heights, and you can make your own custom materials with mixed blocks. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much you can do with this program, and if you're interested in playing around with it, you can find the link down below. Now obviously, I'm not going to use World Painter to just paint in the terraforming and call it a day. Instead, what I did was I took a backup of my world and spent the better part of a week messing around with the program and creating a design. When I finally had it done, I took a schematic of the whole area, and that's what I've got loaded in right now. And if I take a look at the materials list, it's going to require a ton of blocks, about 250,000 total. As you probably know, I have more than enough dirt, grass, stone, and andesite back at base here. But on top of that, I collected a bit more from all the clearing I did at the beginning of the episode, and I've got all that stored down here in this secret hatch. Tons of dirt, grass, and stone. So if I go back to the materials list here, there's really only one thing left to worry about. Snow. Now, I do have a farm back at base, but it's not a very good one. There's no item collection, and it's not protected either, so mobs might sneak up on me while I'm AFK. I want to build a better one around here, but that's not for this episode. Instead, what I'm going to do is head back over to Westfall and build a temporary one just to get what I need for this crazy terraforming project. Normally, this would be about the time I'd wander over to El Mango's channel and use another one of his designs, but instead, I designed one myself. It's just your typical snow golem and shovel combo, nothing new there. But my thing was I wanted to have a large collection system, so 1, I could AFK at it, and 2, so I could have a bulk crafting setup to convert the snowballs into snow blocks. I made this design with a quick and dirty sort of mentality, so it could be better, but for my purposes, it's perfect. Again, it's just a snow golem sitting in between 2 blocks. I'll sit right here and align my shovel so that I'll mine both snow layers. Then the hopper minecarts underneath will pick up the drops and send them down. One caveat, for some reason, and I don't know why, the hopper minecarts prioritize sending the items to the right side first, so it doesn't split the drops evenly. Luckily, this isn't a problem for item collection, it's still fast enough, but it is annoying, and it's caused problems for me in the past, so if anybody knows why this is a thing, please let me know. But anyways, the upside to this feature is I can take a comparator readout from the other side, and that will turn on a redstone lamp when it's full. Okay, I've been farming for about an hour, and the light just went on, meaning the whole storage is full. That means I've got 32 double chests full of snowballs, which will come out to 2 double chests of blocks. Just for reference, it took me 5 unbreaking 3 shovels to do all that. I broke 1, and the 5th was my fortune shovel. Anyways, now I can break all the chests, activate the water streams, and oh no, that is so laggy. Is this even possible? Dude, this is a straight up PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so I ended up loading a backup, and I'm just gonna do 1 layer at a time. Okay, much better. Now I can bulk craft everything into blocks here. Oh, my wrist is starting to hurt, man. This sucks. Actually, I think that item scroller has an autocraft feature. Let me check. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, here we go again. Dude, that is so cool. That makes my life so much easier. I love it. In total, that got me just about 2 double chests of snow blocks. And man, that would have taken so much longer without item scroller. Check it out if you're interested. It's down below with all the other mods I use. Fast forward, and I farmed another hour and got all the snow that I'm gonna need. 4 double chests of blocks and a double chest of layers. So now that I've got all my snow, this thing needs to... Sorry about that. Allergies, am I right? I am very close now to getting this terraforming project underway. There's just one last thing I want to do, light up this whole area. Since I'm basically going to be building a gigantic shell over this area, I want to make sure everything's all mob-proofed. Torches are my default option usually, but recently I've been trying to be more lag conscious around my world, and it's my understanding that torches in large numbers can cause lag due to their particles. So instead, I thought I'd try out jack-o'-lanterns. Bam! I love doing that. Now it's really time to get started. What a project. I gotta say, this might be the first time in this game that it actually took me less time to get something done than I was expecting. Just because of the sheer scale of this thing, I figured it would take me somewhere around 30 hours. I mean, my kelp farm of a similar scale took me over 40, but no, I clocked in at just under 18 hours. I thought this was crazy, but then I thought about it and it actually kind of makes sense. All I had to do was just place full blocks instead of other things like messing around with stairs or configuring redstone, which tends to take a lot longer. I guess it's just cool to know that I can make such a drastic change to my terrain so quickly. But moving right along here, let's talk about the design. Behind my buildings here, I've got a few very rounded chunks of rock that are loosely inspired by the style of terrain found at the same place in game. I like the simplistic, rounded look it has, even though it's probably about 20 years old at this point and was clearly not a creative choice at the time. But anyways, I moved away from that style for the rest of the terrain and opted to instead go for a more basic mountain range look. When I made them in World Painter, I basically just raised up the existing mountains that were here. And that's why underneath you can see they're very close to each other. By the way, I am so glad I decided to light everything up. I didn't mention it at the time, but it took me a full day to place all these jack-o'-lanterns, and I started to question if I wasted my time. But it's really nice being able to have the freedom to go under here safely, and also just peace of mind. Look at this, I missed this little cavity over here, and I can get a taste of what this all would have looked like otherwise. I'm gonna fix this real quick. No. Ah. Nice. Anyways, a few more things to mention. I added this little mountain pass here because I didn't want the area to feel boxed in, and this leaves a nice little open-ended option to connect to something else in the future. There's also the whole middle area here, which was designed to connect all the different terrain together and make for a relatively gentle slope to work upon when I start building. And finally, the most important thing of all the mountains are half-slabbed and snow-slabbed, aka they're completely mob-proofed. This was an extra step that took me more time, especially the snow slabs, because I had to do 2 of them for it to be spawn proof. But it's so worth it because it means I don't have to light any of it up and it can look more natural. Also, again, just peace of mind. Okay, I've put in all this crazy work so I can finally sit here and say, let's get started, lest we forget that my original objective here is to create a donkey breeding setup. But that's gonna have to wait till the next episode. Shh, it's okay, fellas, it'll be okay. Once again, I reached a point where I thought about splitting things up, and once again, I asked for your support. The votes were cast, and the winner decided that this Westfall project will be a 4-parter, meaning that this episode is gonna stop here, the next episode will be about donkeys, and the last one will be about finishing my town and bulk trading all of my stone reserves. I veered a little off track here. That's fine, I'm having fun. I appreciate you guys bearing with me as I shift my plans around. As always, your feedback is welcome. Do you like shorter and more frequent videos, or do you prefer longer ones but there's more of a gap between uploads? I'm being serious, let me know. I'm kind of back and forth on it. But anyways, that's it. Go on now. Next episode. Goodbye now.